78 Sports TV here. Welcome to the Lion's Den. We got a special debate. Boxingolgist versus Boxing Talk to debate Muhammad Ali versus Joe Louis. Who has the greater resume? All right, this is going to be a heated one. So, Boxing Talk, let me get your opening statement.
I'm here to say that Joe Louis was the most dominant undisputed champion in history. Not even guys like Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney, Max Melling, or guys like Muhammad Ali surpassed. He was an inspiration and an influence to millions and the first black hero in the U.S.
Okay. Boxingologist, what do you intend to prove?
First off, I like to intend to prove why Muhammad Ali is the greatest that's ever lived. I'm here to prove why Joe Louis is really like the Jackie Robinson of boxing, and Ali is like the Hank Aaron of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And this debate right here, honestly, is nothing but a warm-up, and I'm going to show that he had a better legacy and a better resume, and Joe Louis is not fucking with him.
Okay, let's go to first round goes to you, Boxologist. Go ahead and state your case.
All right, man, I'm going to try to speed up. And let me just say one thing before I start, man. I give full respect to Joe Louis. You know what I'm saying? He's a great fighter. You know, it's just full respect, but I don't think he's messing with Ali. All right, here we go. All right, first thing we're going to say what's already known. Ali had a record of 56 fights, 5 losses. 56 wins, 5 losses. Joe Louis had a record of 66 wins, 3 losses. Ali only stopped once. Joe Louis been stopped twice. First thing you want to get into is the amateur background. If you look at the amateur background resume, Joe Louis had a record of 50-4. He never won any gold or Olympics, and he lost to Olympian Johnny Miller. When you're looking at Muhammad Ali, he had a record of 27-5. He won a gold medal at light heavyweight, and he beat Jimmy Ellis, who was like a future heavyweight. Now, it's two versions of Ali. The Cassius Clay, the one that got stripped, and the Ali, and then the one that came back, you know what I'm saying, and Paul Frazier. First thing I want to show that Ali was better, you know, before he got stripped, and then I'm going to show he was better after he got stripped. First thing you want to look at is it took Ali 16 fights to face his first Hall of Famer. It took Joe Louis 22 fights. It took Ali 20 fights to win his first title. It took Joe Louis 34 fights to win his. Now we talking before being stripped. After winning the title, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad Ali had 9 defenses. Combine that with the title win, that's a record of 10-0 with 8 KOs. Louis, you know, after winning his title in his first 9 defenses, he also had a record of 10-0, 8 KOs. The side effect of that is the other 2 fights that Ali had was 2 unanimous decisions, and Joe Louis had a unanimous decision, a split decision by Arturo Budo, where one of the judges actually had it for the other fighter. So when you take that into consideration, prior to pre-stripping, Ali's record in his first 28 fights before he got stripped was 28-0, and he had 23 knockouts, and he was the world champion. If you compare that to Joe Louis's, these facts, if you compare that to Joe Louis' first 28 fights, Joe Louis was 27-1. He didn't have no title. He also had 23 KOs, and he was knocked out once also. You know what I'm saying? So Ali had 28 fights. You know what I'm saying? He had in his first 28 fights before he got stripped, he had a record of 4-0 against future Hall of Famers, and he knocked out all those Hall of Famers. When 28 fights with Joe Louis, his first 28 fights, he had a record of 2-1 against future Hall of Famers. He knocked out 2, and he got knocked out by 1. You know what I'm saying? In Ali's career, Ali fought 6 unbeaten fighters to Joe Louis's 3. Ali never fought a guy that had a losing record, meaning he had more losses than wins. Joe Louis fought 3 opponents like that. When you're looking at the opponents that they faced, Ali's opponents had an 84% winning ratio to Joe Louis's 76%. So that tells me that Ali fought more experienced fighters and fighters that was winning. You know what I'm saying? Another thing you want to take into account, in their whole career, Ali only fought 15 guys coming off a loss. Joe Louis fought 22. As a champion, Joe Louis fought 8 guys coming off a loss. Ali fought 3. You know what I'm saying? Ali fought 7 Hall of Famers. Joe Louis fought 8. Joe Louis had more Hall of Famers, but I think Ali's was considerably better and had a better legacy. I'm going to prove that later. The next thing I'm going to get into is the resume. Before I start, I'm going to let people know resume matters, man. That's the most important thing that makes you great in boxing. What you achieve, like Ali's achieving 5 belts to Joe Louis is 1. How fast you do it. Ali being a champion before faster than Joe Louis could, how impressive you do it. You know what I'm saying? Ali is mimicked to this day in video games. He's imitated by other great fighters such as Larry Holmes, Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really imitates Joe Louis, man. And how you overcome obstacles. And there's two obstacles that was major that Ali had ended up overcoming in his career. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget, he's the first heavyweight champion to come back from retirement to regain his belt, and he's the first and only three-time lineal heavyweight champion. Now let's get into the resume real quick. The first fight you want to take note of Muhammad Ali's resume is Sonny Banks. Sonny Banks was a good fighter. He was 10-2. Real boxing historians know this is Ali's first real test. He was the first person to knock Ali down. Ali got dropped. He came back and knocked him up. Sonny Banks was coming off a 5-fight winning streak. The next fight you want to look at is Billy Daniels. Billy Daniels was undefeated. He was 16-0. Ali knocked him out. The third fight I want to get into is the Archie Moore fight. That was his 16th fight. Archie Moore had a record of 184 wins, 22 losses. Archie Moore had the highest knockouts percent ever in boxing. He was probably arguably the best light heavyweight to ever live. A lot of people that want to say Archie Moore was washed up when he fought Ali, Archie Moore had a record of 25-1 streak. You know what I'm saying? When he got in the ring with Ali, and the one loss that he had avenged that loss before he got in the ring with Ali too. And he also beat good fighters like Hall of Fame champ Yvonne Durrell, Bobo Olsen, another Hall of Famer, Joey Maximum, and Jimmy Bivens 4 times, another person that Joe Louis fought. Next person you want to look at is Charlie Powell. Charlie Powell, Ali wasn't fighting flat-footed, slow guys. He was fighting super athletes. Charlie Powell was a super athlete. If you don't know him, look him up. He was a professional boxer. He was a professional baseball player and a professional football player, and he was in the prime of his career. Ali knocked him out. Next guy you want to look at is Doug Jones. Doug Jones was a prime excellent fighter. He had a record of 21-3. He beat people like Bobo Olsen, Zoe Foley, and he beat the great Bob Foster. Another guy you want to get into when you're looking at the pre-career of him being stripped is Sir Henry Cooper. If you don't know who he is, he's a Commonwealth champion, a European champion. He fought Cooper in his backyard, something that Joe Louis never did. Joe Louis never traveled outside the United States and fought anybody, of work. And Sir Henry Cooper is probably arguably the best in Europe at that time. You know what I'm saying? He fought him twice, and he stopped him twice. Cooper beat people like Foley and Mildenberg, who's another great European champion. The next fight is a notable fight you can get into is Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was the champion. Sonny Liston was 35-1. He was one of the most feared fighters at that time. He was knocking everybody out. Ali went into that fight as a 7-1 underdog. You know what I'm saying? Sonny Liston was the Mike Tyson of his day. And he also tried to cheat in the first fight against Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali beat him. He stopped him twice. He beat him and rematched him and beat him again. You know what I'm saying? And my question to you, Boxing Talk, when you gonna answer it, is who is Joe Louis and Sonny Liston on his resume? Sonny Liston beat people like knocked out Patterson, who's a Hall of Famer. He knocked out Foley. He knocked out Cleveland Williams. All right. Next guy you want to look at is Floyd Patterson. Floyd Patterson is a Hall of Fame fighter. He was a former champion. He was the youngest champion ever at that time. He fought Ali twice. The first fight, he was on a 5-fight winning streak. The second fight, he was on a 9-fight winning streak. You know what I'm saying? He beat guys like Oscar Bonavena, Henry Cooper, George Chavallo, and Archie Moore. Ali stopped that guy twice. Another guy you want to that I just mentioned, George Chavallo. When you're looking at George Chavallo, if you don't know about him, look him up. He's a super tough fighter. He gave Ali one of his toughest fights to that date when he fought him. You know what I'm saying? He beat guys like Doug Jones and Barry Carter. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the fight he fought after that, he fought a guy named Brian London. And I'm sure you don't even know who the hell Brian London is, but he was a great European fighter. Ali went out there and fought him in his backyard, traveling again. You know what I'm saying? He was Brian London was probably one of the best fighters in London at the time, and he beat guys like Foley, and Ali knocked him out. Another guy that you want to fight that was a European champion named Paul Mildenberg. Paul Mildenberg was 49-2 when he got in the ring with him. He was a European champion. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of the best at the time, and Ali beat him in his backyard, and Carl Mildenberg was coming off a 19-fight winning streak, and Ali knocked him out. Another guy you want to look at is Cleveland Williams. Cleveland Williams was a very good opponent. He was 65-5, a big guy. He was knocking everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland Williams was on a 9-fight winning streak. Before the Ernie Terrell loss that he lost, he was on a 20-1 fight winning streak before that loss. You know what I'm saying? He beat people like Ernie Terrell and Billy Daniels. Ali knocked him out inside of 3 rounds. After that fight, he moves on to fight Ernie Terrell. Ernie Terrell was a WBA champion, unification match. Ernie Terrell was coming off with a 15-fight winning streak, had a record of 39-4. You know what I'm saying? He was bigger than Ali. He beat people like Cleveland Williams, Doug Jones, Bob Foster, Foley, and Chavallo. You know what I'm saying? The last person you want to get into before Ali got stripped is Zar Foley. Who was Zar Foley? Zar Foley was 74-7. He was a very skilled boxer. He was a master boxer. You know what I'm saying? He was coming off an 11-fight winning streak. He beat people like Doug Jones, Milton Berger, Henry Cooper, and Eddie Manchin. Ali knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? This is just a pre-stricken resume. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first gauntlet that Ali, you know what I'm saying, went through. Now you tell me, Boxing Talk, you know what I'm saying? Tell me how great Joe Louis is with his 25 defenses. You know what I'm saying? How he was fighting the Bum of the Month Club, and he had the longest reigning champ, even though that shit's about to be broken by Vladimir Klitschko. And maybe you tell me why he only fought 3 black fighters in his whole career, and why he ducked black fighters in their prime before his title and during his title reign. And tell me what's so great about the fighters that he beat. And when you ask yourself, and I'm going to close out with this, what would Ali be remembered as if he never would have fought again after he got stripped? He would remember as an undefeated champion that was full of talent. If Joe Louis would have stopped fighting in 28 fights, he would have been remembered as a guy that was 27-1, and he was just a decent fighter and never did nothing major in the sport of boxing.
Okay. Right on time. that was some very interesting information. Round 1 goes to you, sir. Boxing Talk. State your case.
First of all, Joe Louis fought in the time. I'm asking one of your questions. He fought in the time when America was not ready for another black heavyweight champion since Jack Johnson, because of the things that Jack Johnson did as far as celebrating, knocking out white opponents and bragging about beating white opponents. So it took Joe Louis 34 fights because they was not ready for him to win a title. So that's the answer to that question. Joe Louis, Sonny Liston was Max Baer, a guy that killed a guy in the ring. So that's the answer to that question. Joe Louis had more knockouts as a contender with 27 to Ali's only 14. Joe Louis beat 2 undisputed heavyweight champions and KO both of them, Max Baer and Jack Sharkey. Ali KO'd 0 undisputed ex-heavyweight champions. And then Joe Louis went on the best undisputed heavyweight champion run in boxing history. Guys like Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney, Max Melly, Jack Sharkey, Max Baer, Peter Charles, Jersey Joe Walcott, Rocky Marciano, Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, and not even Muhammad Ali was able to do what he did as an undisputed heavyweight champion. Joe Louis had his first shot at the title versus James Broderick, who was the Cinderella man. They made a movie out of him. Joe Louis KO'd him in 8. Joe Louis then became the first black heavyweight undisputed champion in 30 years since Jack Johnson. This fight was so important because Joe Louis inspired millions of black people who thought they could not do the unthinkable. So Joe Louis, with his fist, he showed that. In that Bum of the Month Club that you're talking about was put out there by the press, and that was not a right statement of what he did in his title run. He fought guys. He traveled to different states fighting state champions. Like, state champions back then were considered viable contenders. He fought Tommy Farr, who he beat. He was a British heavyweight champion. He fought Nathan Mann, who was the New England heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 3. He fought Harry Thomas, who was the Illinois State heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 5. He beat John Henry Lewis, who was 2-time light heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 1. He fought Jack Roper, who was an Oriental heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 1 in Los Angeles. He beat Bob Holster, who was the New York heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 11 in Detroit. He also fought a guy by the name of Arturo, who was the South American heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 1. He fought Al Potroy, who was a 2-division champion. He was a New England heavyweight champion. He was a Montreal light heavyweight champion. He KO'd him in 5 at Boston Garden. He beat guys like Max Baer, brother Buddy Baer, who was 6'5", 250 pounds. He came in 52 pounds heavier than Joe Louis. The guy had an 80% KO ratio. Joe Louis KO'd him and won in Washington, D.C. He had two 20-round scheduled fights. He actually had the last 20-round scheduled fight in history. He went on to fight Billy Conn. The press dubbed his fight the sixth greatest, one of the fifth greatest fights in boxing history. He had a really good fight with Billy Conn. Billy Conn was undisputed light heavyweight champion. He KO'd Billy Conn in the 13th round. Then Joe Louis went on and beat Max Melling. He beat Max Melling, but the guy that was the German ex-heavyweight champion and the undisputed heavyweight champion, he beat him. But this fight was really significant because the war was on the horizon. Hitler wanted Max Melling to beat Joe Louis because he wanted to have a propaganda machine out there saying that the Aryan blood is the most powerful blood out there. So when Joe Louis KO'd him in one round, Joe Louis was actually the guy that sent the first bow across the bow to Germany for what was to come later on when the U.S. beat Germany in World War II, which Joe Louis participated in. He donated 2 of his fight purses to the Army Relief Fund. He had another 96 exhibition fights for the Army, for the morale of the troops all over the world. He fought in front of an estimated 3 million troops all around the world. So Joe Louis said he wanted to enlist in the war because that was the right thing for him to do, was sacrifice for his country. He said that no bigger thing is to sacrifice for your country. A sacrifice is to give up something of value and importance. Joe Louis gave up the importance of him being able to defend his title, to continue having bodies on his record, to extend that record could have been longer than 25, and he gave up the value was the money he would have earned in that 4 years that he lost to the war. So Joe Louis sacrificed for his country. And that's what I got on that.
Okay. That's your first round, brother?
Yep.
Okay. Good stuff from both guys. Let's move to round 2. Boxologist, round 2 goes to you.
Okay, I said I asked you why he does black fighters. You said white America wasn't ready for Joe Louis fighting black fighters yet, but that doesn't change the fact that he could have fought him, before he became a world champion. He wasn't limited, you know what I'm saying? You said Ali never KO'd any undisputed heavyweight champions. You know what I'm saying? That's false. When not Joe Frazier, but Foreman, he was an undisputed heavyweight champion when he knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the Bum of the Month Club, that was by the press. The press, most of the time, always had it right. Even they was calling Ali the Louisville Lit, but they still wasn't discrediting the man's fights. Even though they didn't like him, he still was getting there with top contenders. So he was fighting the Bum of the Month Club. You know what I'm saying? It still doesn't change the fact he said he fought some European champions, but he still never fought nobody in their backyard. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about how he knocked out Arturo Godoy, but he also had a split decision against Arturo Godoy too. But you failed to mention that. You said how he beat Joey Maximum, but Joey Maximum knocked him out first. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into the pre-stripping of when Ali's comeback. You know what I'm saying? Pre-strip Ali was big, but Ali comeback was the greatest. You know what I'm saying? One thing you need to understand is Ali was in one of the toughest heavyweight eras in boxing, man. Lewis was in one of the weakest because it was limited with color who you could fight, and fighters like him did not push the issue to fight the best fighter. You know what I'm saying? Ali is the reason fighters didn't become champions that would be champions today in his era. You know what I'm saying? Ali was so mesmerized. You talking about people kill people. Ali was so mesmerizing. It's on record that people actually had heart attacks watching this man fight. That's on record. You know what I'm saying? Ali took a stand for what he believed in and shook up the world. You know what I'm saying? What Joe Louis ever take a stand for? You said he took a stand for his country, but this is the same country that gave him the 7 commandments on what he can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? Ali told black people that black was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? He changed society. People quote Ali to this day. Who quotes Joe Louis? Name a quote, I need $20. You know what I'm saying? Who models their style after Joe Louis? A lot of fighters model their style after Ali. Fighters get into boxing because of Ali. One of note is his daughter, who's probably the greatest female boxer that's ever lived. Ali never ducked anybody. He fought every single person. If you said you was good, you had to go see Ali. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can argue and say Joe Louis ducked the fighters. I believe he did. You know what I'm saying? Hell, and you think about it, the first fighter that beat him was told how to beat him by Jack Johnson, an ex-former black heavyweight champion. You know, the most notable major fight he probably had was Max Melling. He dropped the ball the first time he got stopped. You know what I'm saying? The best fighters on his resume beat him. Ali rose to the occasion 2 times in his career when the odds were stacked against him. You know what I'm saying? And he predicted KOs in his career. Louis ain't never predicted no KOs, man. One thing, so let's get into the next portion of his career. This is the second gauntlet Ali went through. Give me time. First fight, he came back and fought Jerry Corley. Jerry Corley had a good record, 37-4. He beat people like Middleton, a top contender, Mac Foster. You know what I'm saying? The first person to beat him, he beat Buster Mathis and Corey Patterson. Ali knocked him out. Second fight, he fought Oscar Bonavilla. I bet you probably don't even know who that is. He had a record of 46-6. He was on a 5-fight winning streak. He never been KO'd, period, in his career. It was the NABF title, a prestigious title at that time because there wasn't so many belts. You know what I'm saying? In his second fight, he got that fight. Bonavita knocked down Frazier and lost a split decision to him, but he also beat guys like George Chuvalo, Foley, and Hildeberger. Ali knocked him out. The next fight you want to look at is Joe Frazier. He had a 26-0 future Hall of Famer. Joe Frazier got the decision. He wouldn't fight Ali until he lost his title. You know what I'm saying? Frazier beat people like Foster, Chuvalo, Corey Ellis, Bugner, Bonavita. He was a tough contender, but he wouldn't fight Ali right back to back after that. Another guy you want to look at Ali beat, he had to go through a gauntlet to get another shot at the title. All right? He beat Jimmy Ellis, you know what I'm saying, for the NABF title, another good fighter. You know what I'm saying? He beat Buster Mathis. He was 29-2. He was a good fighter. He was a hard puncher, and he was coming off a winning streak. He beat Mac Foster. Mac Foster was 28-1. You know what I'm saying? Good record. He fought Chuvalo again. He was coming off a winning streak. Jerry Corley, he was coming off a 6-fight winning streak. Alvin Blue Lewis, he was had like a decent record. He was like 26-4. And he fought him in Ireland, and that was in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? When you look at, he fought Floyd Patterson again, coming off that long streak of wins. He stopped Floyd Patterson again, we all know. He went in there, he fought Joe Bugner twice. The first time he fought Joe Bugner was on an 8-fight winning streak. The second time, he was on a 9-fight winning streak. Bugner was a #1 rated fighter in Europe. He beat people like Ellis, Mac Foster, Henry Cooper. You know what I'm saying? The next person you want to get into is Bob Foster. He was a Hall of Fame fighter, 49-0. He was an excellent fighter. He was a unified champion at light heavyweight. And you know what I'm saying? He beat people like Mike Qualley, who was 35-0, Big Tiger. Ali knocked him out. Next person you want to look at is Ken Norton. I'm going through the resume. Tell me how good these fighters that he fought beat. Don't tell me he killed the man. He probably killed the one. You know what I'm saying? He fought Ken Norton. Ken Norton was 29-1. The first fight, he broke Ali's jaw, and he still didn't stop Ali. Ali still fighting, so that lets you know how durable Ali was, man. You know what I'm saying? He was coming off a winning streak. You know what I'm saying? He was a Hall of Famer. Ali came back and beat him twice. The next time he came back and he got a shot against Frazier. You know what I'm saying? Again, he beat Frazier the second time in decisive fashion. You know what I'm saying? He had the Thriller in Manila, one of the most grueling, greatest fights in sports boxing today. The number one fight I want to get into that you want to take note of is George Foreman. George Foreman was 40-0. He was one of the oldest champions that ever lived. He was a 3-time champion in his career. He was knocking out everybody. You know what I'm saying? When Ali got into this fight, Ali was a 39-1 underdog. It hasn't been an odds that bad since I don't know when. You know what I'm saying? Who was Joe Louis ever an underdog against? You know what I'm saying? Foreman had both titles. It was a rumble and a double. Foreman beat people like Frazier, Norton, Lyle, Cooney, Ellis, Moore. Ali did the rope-a-dope and knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Another fight you want to look at is Chuck. So he regains the title. Now he has to go through the gauntlet of winning the title. You know, after he wins the title, he fights Chuck Webber, the Boston Bleeder. People give Chuck Webber slack, but they made a movie about him, a better movie than the Cinderella Man at that. You know what I'm saying? And he was coming off an 8-fight winning streak when he fought him. Next person you want to look at is Koopman. He fought. Koopman was coming off an 11-fight winning streak. When you look at Jimmy Young was a beast, a very slick fighter. He was coming off a 10-fight winning streak. He beat people like Foreman and Lyle. You look at Richard Dunn. He was coming off a 7-fight winning streak. Alfredo Evangelista was 14-1 when he fought him. Two fighters I want to get into real quick. Ronald Lyle, Ernie Shavers. I believe both these fighters, only reason they weren't world champions is because of Ali. If they was fighting today, they'll be world champions. Ronnie Lyle, he was 30-2. He had a little prison stint. He beat people like he beat people like Ellis, Shavers, Bonavina. Ali knocked him out. When you look at Ernie Shavers had a 54-5 record. You know what I'm saying? He was coming off a 5-fight winning streak. He was knocking everybody out. Extremely strong fighter, man. He beat people like Ken Norton. He beat people like Ellis. Ali beat him. You know what I'm saying? We know Ali's career ended after that. You know what I'm saying? With the loss to Spinks. You know what I'm saying? And he won his title back. Then he loses to Larry Holmes and them. I don't know. What's my time? Start my time. What my time looking like?
You got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. Okay, check this out. We're going to get into the Hall of Famers real quick that they fought. You know what I'm saying? Because the best you can give me is the Hall of Famers. When you're looking at the light heavyweight people they fought, man, you look at Archie, you can't tell me that J.H. Lewis, you know what I'm saying, and Bivens and Khan is better than Archie Moore. And Bivens is a person that Archie Moore beat. You know what I'm saying? When you look at these Hall of Famers, the main ones that he won over, you know what I'm saying, they never even defended their titles, dog. When you look at Schmeling, how he stacks up against Frazier, Schmeling defended his title 1 time. Frazier defended his title 4 times. The Sharkey, Bear, Braddock, you know what I'm saying? All 3 of them never defended their titles, man. When you look at Walcott defended his title 1 time. When you look at Liston, he defended his title 1 time. Foreman defended his title 5 times. Patterson defended his title 6 times. You know what I'm saying? So they just let you know how much they suck, man. They couldn't even go on any kind of winning streak with the titles, man. You know what I mean? So, man. You don't get this work, man. I'm going to 78. You don't get this work, bro. You don't get this work today. And you got Black Fighters. You don't get this work, dog.
Yeah. Okay. Fire round from Boxologist defending Muhammad Ali. Now let's go to Joe Louis. Boxing Talk, take it away.
First of all, you went through this telling the tape like it was nothing. The telling the tape is Joe Louis had a 17-year career versus Muhammad Ali's 51-year career. Joe Louis had 56 wins. Muhammad Ali had 56. That's plus 10 for Joe Louis. Joe Louis had 52 KOs. Muhammad Ali had 37. That's plus 15 for Joe Louis. Joe Louis only had 3 losses. Muhammad Ali had 5 losses. One of those losses came against a guy that only had 6 wins at the time in Leon Spinks. Another thing, Joe Louis had a 75% KO ratio. Muhammad Ali only had a 60% KO ratio. In title run undisputed streak, doing Joe Louis undisputed title run streak, he had 25 wins with 22 KOs. Muhammad Ali had 19 wins with 11 KOs. So Joe Louis, all of his losses came against Hall of Fame undisputed champions. Muhammad Ali lost to Trevor Burbitt and Leon Spinks, a guy that had 6 victories. He put Leon Spinks on the fucking map. It shouldn't even been on the fucking map. It is a fucking heavyweight. Period. Point blank. He made Leon Spinks the undisputed heavyweight champion. The dude only had 6 victories. That's a blemish on his record, big time blemish. Joe Louis held, these are records. He got the record for title defenses. He got the record for 22 knockouts during that undisputed title run. You cannot dispute that. Period. Point blank. Joe Louis never lost the undisputed heavyweight title. Period. He retired as champion after 25 successful defenses. Ali lost. He lost against a guy that had 6 victories. Let's not forget that. Joe Louis, in his career, his live gate of people watching him in attendance was over 600,000. To Muhammad Ali, on record, he only fought in front of 489,000. So Joe Louis beat or knocked out. He knocked out more undisputed heavyweight champions. Max Baer, Max Melly, Jack Sharkey, Jim Braddock, Jersey Joe Walcott, who would later win a title. Muhammad Ali only knocked out 3. Sonny Liston, George Foreman, and Floyd Patterson. First round KOs, Joe Louis has 12. Muhammad Ali has 2. Fight to a draw. Joe Louis has has 13 fights to a draw. Muhammad Ali has 21. Joe Louis was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world 7% of his career. Well, Muhammad Ali was only 33% of his career, and he was a multiple-time champion. Joe Louis, no one has showed the dominance that Joe Louis showed as the undisputed heavyweight champion since the first undisputed heavyweight champion, which was John L. Sullivan. None of those guys. Gene Tunney, Max Melling, Mike Tyson, Ytbc, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, not even Muhammad Ali. And I have something from Sports Century that Muhammad Ali said to Joe Louis' son. You can go look it up at 39 minutes and 30 seconds on Sports Century, Joe Louis documentary.
And I think how sad that is. But in death, reclaims his pride. Former champion honored. Muhammad walked up to me, my father's funeral, and put his arm around me. And we walked off to the side, and your father's the great. Really great.
That's what Muhammad Ali said to Joe Louis' son. That Joe Louis was the greatest. He was simply the greatest. In an Arsenio Hall show, Muhammad Ali said that his two biggest influences were Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Louis. In 1993, Joe Louis became the first boxer to be honored on a postal stamp. That shows his worldwide, his influence on America, that they honored this man on a postal stamp. Joe Louis, in 1982, was given the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest honor given to a civilian. President Reagan said Joe Louis was not only a sports legend, but he was a source of inspiration to millions. Not just blacks, but blacks and whites. So, Joe Louis, he was a mentor to Sugar Ray Robinson and Jackie Robinson. And Jackie Robinson was the guy that Joe Louis stood up for when Jackie Robinson hit an Army sergeant in the war and stood up for him. If it wasn't for Jackie Robinson said, if it wasn't for Joe Louis, there would be no him. That means it probably would have taken a longer time for black people to integrate into the sport of baseball. So the influence and the legacy of Joe Louis lives on. He has a statue in Detroit. He has the Joe Louis Arena is named after him. This guy, it's just people are not looking at what Joe Louis did or represented. You say what Joe Louis stood for. There was no civil rights movement when Joe Louis was fighting. He had the fights that he fought. He had to do it with his fists. He had to show that a black man can be on equal playing field with a white man when he was knocking all those guys out and showing that, yes, we can be superior too. So for you to say that man stood for nothing is ridiculous. You need to look up Joe Louis to see what that man stood for. That man stood for a lot, a very lot.
That's your second round, brother?
Joe Louis, his record, look, man, the man to hold the title for as long as he did, which is a record of nearly 12 years, to Ali's only 7. That's 5 more years that he held the undisputed strongest man, baddest man on the planet award. And you said he has no influence on guys. Well, Joe Louis came up with these two slogans. You can't hit what you cannot hit. You can run, but you can't hide. He came up with another slogan. Everyone has a plan until they get hit. Mike Tyson says that all the time. Mike Tyson referenced that slogan all the time. So you saying this man had a big impact. And trust me, Muhammad Ali grew up in the era where Joe Louis was the hero. Joe Louis was the standard. Joe Louis set the footwork for the footprint for Muhammad Ali to follow in. Joe Louis did not follow Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali followed Joe Louis' influence and inspiration. Muhammad Ali called him the greatest. So for you to say that I need this to be answered, how can a man be greater than another man if that man has 25 title defenses, which is a record, 22 knockouts, which is a record, as the undisputed champion, and 12 years as champion, the baddest man on the planet. And the other man only has 7 years as a champion, and the other man only has 19 title defenses and only 11 KOs. I need you to explain that to me. This is Boxing 8576. I'm out.
All right, now let's go to the open forum and Boxing Talk. If you want to repeat that question that you have for Boxologist, and then y'all can take it away.
Yes, I heard everything you said. I heard everything you said in this debate, but you still not have told me why this guy is better than Joe Louis' record, 25 title defenses, 22 knockouts as the undisputed champion during that streak, and 12 years, nearly 12 years of holding the baddest, best championship in the world. When Joe Louis was heavyweight champion, he was the man on the planet, and he did it for over a decade. Now you need to tell me how Muhammad Ali did better than that.
Okay. Is that his number one question, or?
Yeah,
That's just a question. Yeah, that's a question. I need because what I said.
Okay, I'll explain it, but you gotta let me explain it. I'll explain it, but I need to explain it without being cut off.
I know.
Okay, all right. Just so you know, you got 1 minute to explain it. You can't turn it into another round.
No, I ain't turning no another round. Okay, the 25 title run, man. Let's get into that, man. One thing that we have to look at when he fought those 25 title defenses, okay? Great thing, but you got to take a closer look. 4 of those fighters, he fought 2 times apiece, okay? Now, one thing that you have to look at, why if you stop a guy the first time, why fight him again? He fought Walcott 2 times. The first fight was a split decision if he bout, but then he knocked Walcott out the second time. He fought Billy Kine 2 times. He knocked him out the first time. No reason to fight him again, but he fought him again and knocked him out again. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about these are guys that didn't work their way back into heavyweight title contingency. He fought Dave Simon. You know what I'm saying? He fought him 2 times. Knocked him out the first time, knocked him out again. He fought Arturo Godoy 2 times. Had a split decision and then knocked him out. You know what I mean? Now, when you're looking at the bum of the month club, it's a reason why they call these guys the 25-fight winning streak the bum of the month club. When you're looking at the fights that he fought, you take a closer look. He fought Johnny Paycheck, right? This is during his defense, right? He fought Johnny Paycheck. You can tell by his name or why he was there for fighting. You know what I'm saying? he knocked Johnny Paycheck out, you know what I mean, in the second round. And Johnny Paycheck got dropped 3 times in the first round, man. He fought John Henry Lewis. Now, it looks good on his resume that John Henry Lewis is a Hall of Fame fighter. But when you take a closer look, you will know that he's a light heavyweight, and he was going blind, and went to Joe Louis and said, man, hey, I'm going blind. So can you, make a fight? So, you know what I'm saying, I can make some money and, kind of keep fighting. And Louis was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to take you out in the first round. And so they agreed to it. Man, it was like a fixed fight. This is during his defense. You know what I'm saying? He fought people like Tony Galato, an ex-bouncer, and he got dropped by this little bitty short dude. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about the bum of the month club, he fought Simon twice, who was considered in the bum of the month club. Musto, McCoy, Berman, DeRazio, all these dudes was bums, and they did nothing to deserve a shot during his 25 reign. So it looks good when you're looking at it. But when you comparing that shit to who Ali fought during his run, man, it don't compare.
Okay,
quality is better than quantity any day.
Okay,
that's your answer.
Okay, what's your question for Boxing Talk?
Okay, my question for Boxing Talk is, I actually had 2. I thought we said we had 2 questions.
Yeah, you do, but we're going one at a time.
I thought we had a chance to rebuttal. We don't have a chance to rebuttal nothing?
Y'all, look, man, y'all you're going one at a time. So, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm going to ask my question. If you want to rebuttal that, you know what I'm saying, you can, but I want to ask my question, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rebuttal that real quick?
Go ahead, rebuttal it.
Okay. Okay, you say why fight Billy Conn twice? The first fight was really good. He knocked him out in the 13th round. That was a good fight. Billy Conn the third of the rematch. He said why he fight Jersey Joe twice. Jersey Joe fought him, and actually Joe Louis was so disgusted he thought he lost the fight, so he fought the man again and knocked the man out. He knocked both of them out the second time. So those guys deserved the second fight. The bum of the month. Come on, man. The press dubbed that. I never read, never seen anything that Joe Louis was ducking any fighter. He fought all the fighters that he was supposed to fight. He cleaned out the division. He was a heavyweight champion for 12 years. He had 25 defenses, man, fighting strong men. So any one of those guys could have knocked him out during that 25 winning streak. No, they didn't. He knocked 22 of the guys out. He wasn't like Ali. He didn't make somebody famous like Leon Spinks with 6 losses. He made that guy famous. Nobody got famous off of Joe Louis. At least he took care of business like a heavyweight supposed to. Get them out of there. If they don't belong in there, get them out of there. Go ahead.
Okay. Still ain't explaining to me why did he duck. First of all, really and break down, you know what I'm saying, his
Ask your question.
Okay. One question I want to ask, why did he duck black fighters his whole career? You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say that question. I'm going to respond because you answered that during the debate. You talking about he wasn't ready or whatever. Who was his George Foreman in his during his reign? Who was his George Foreman that he had the odds was against him and he was undefeated and didn't nobody give him a chance to beat him? Who was his George Foreman?
Look, I'm going to say this. Why are you saying who was his George Foreman? George Foreman was an undisputed heavyweight champion. Right? Correct?
You said he wasn't earlier. Well, go ahead.
Okay, he was undisputed. Okay. He had guys like Max Melling, who was the undisputed heavyweight champion. Max Baer, who was the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Uh-huh.
He had undisputed champions. Now, for you to say who was his George Foreman, okay, who was Muhammad Ali? Max Baer. Who was his Max Melling? Who was his Jack Sharkey? Come on, man. Dude, you're not telling me nothing. You're not telling me how that man beat a 25 defense as a record, 22 knockouts as a record, 12 years as a champion as a record. Where is that, man? And that's like the heart of being a heavyweight, man. Guys want to be dominant. Nobody displayed the dominance like Louis. You know it. Everybody knows it.
Okay. Can I respond?
Yeah, you can rebuttal. Go ahead.
Okay. So he didn't answer my question. You know what I'm saying? Take note of that. I asked Rules for him. He didn't say. He said where was Ali's Max Melling, Sharkey, and Bear, right? So let's take a look at Max Melling. He had one defense. He was knocked out in his 5th fight against a bum with a record of 0-0 and a draw. That looked like your record. You know what I'm saying? He had 13 fights later, he got knocked out again by Larry Gaines, a guy that I think he ducked. You know what I'm saying? He was stopped by Bear. He was stopped by Daniels in the 1st round, and Daniels had 22 losses coming off a loss. This is your guy, Max Schmeling. His best win was probably Young Scribbling. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Sharkey never defended his title. He lost his 4th fight. You know what I'm saying? 5 fights later, he lost 3 in a row, and he was knocked out. He was knocked out by Dempsey. You know what I'm saying? His best win is Schmeling and Young Scribbling. When you talk about Bear, he never had no title defenses. He was a rugged fighter. He was a dirty fighter. He was DQ'd his 3rd fight. He was DQ'd his 12th fight. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Braddock. He lost to Lewis. Who are these guys? What makes them so good, man? What makes these dudes so good? You know what I'm saying? Show me the flaws in George Foreman. And because how they stack up, a nigga losing his 3rd fight to a nigga with no record that don't stack up to no George Foreman any day of the week, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go Braddock didn't have no defenses. He started his career good, but he was win-loss. Come on, man. You want to talk about walkout? Walkout was probably the best thing he had going for him, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing. But my question to you is, why did he duck black fighters, man? Why did he duck black fighters? Because he could have fought.
Okay, hold on. Everybody knows when Joe Louis is fighting, Joe Louis barely himself got a shot at the title. barely got a shot at the title. They gave Joe Louis the shot at the title because they looked at Joe Louis at a high praise. They didn't want Max Melling, Jim Braddock to fight Max Melling because they thought Max Melling was going to beat Jim Braddock. That's really why Louis got the shot, because Louis got the shot because they were taking the two of lesser evils. They didn't want the Nazi Germany to have a champion and Hitler for his propaganda machine. So America said, okay, Louis, you beat Melling. And that's what Louis did. Back then, a lot of black fighters was not getting shots at the title. They were not giving them the shot at the title. Every fight that Joe Louis participated in was a pressure fight. Because if he failed at Jim Braddock, no telling when a black fighter would have got another shot at the heavyweight title. So Joe Louis was under immense pressure. Muhammad Ali Muhammad Ali only had to worry about an opponent. Joe Louis had to worry about an opponent and the atmosphere that he was fighting in. He had to win. And the man set a precedent that none of these other fighters ever came to contend what he did. Okay. And he set the gold standard that is still set right now today. You tell me why your guy, as great as Muhammad Ali is, and this is not a knock on Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a great fighter. Why? During his career, he could not break the record of 25 title defenses with 22 KOs, and why could he not hold the title longer than 12 years? And why did Muhammad Ali, in his career, had a 7-year drought without the title?
Okay. Well, first off, when you looking at Ali, he possibly could have broke the record, but at the same time, unlike Joe Louis, he took a stand for what he believed in. Because if he was falling behind Joe Louis, he would have joined the damn army. But he was following about what he believed in, not Joe Louis, and said, no, I'm not going to no war. And so, and before that, he had like 5 fights in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So you could have added that and say he could have fought 15 fights in a prime of his career. You know what I mean? And before I rebuttal what you were saying, because I asked you why he didn't fight black fighters. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't answer. But before I rebuttal that, I want to ask you, do you know any black fighters that he didn't fight back then? Do you even know any?
Like I said, we all know why Joe Louis didn't fight black fighters. Don't ask.
Okay, but do you know any black fighter names? Can you give me a name?
That's not. Don't come on here and act stupid. Because we know that black fighters were not given shots after Jack. They were not given shot at the title, man. We also know why white fighters was in line first. Trust me, they were.
But I'm not talking about the title.
And I know it.
I'm talking about why he didn't fight him, period. Let's say before he even had the title. Since you want to keep saying the title, why he didn't fight him before he had the title? Tell me that. Can you explain that? And like I'm going to ask you again, can you name any of the black fighters? Huh? Yeah, I can explain it. Yes, because the motherfucker dealt with black fighters, dude.
Hold on. So you were back then, you knew the atmosphere back then.
You goddamn right. You're right. Absolutely. I've been doing the education. You ain't been doing the education. You ain't been doing the research.
Like I said, you're trying to have this little minute thing to say, but we all know the atmosphere back then were that black fighters were not
black fighters
at the title. Black fighters were held down. Black fighters were in a long line of white fighters in front of them. And period. We all know that. We all know that. You know that too.
Tell me when you're done, because this is why I'm bothering you up. Tell me when you're done.
You know that too.
Tell me when you're done, because you're about to get body bagged.
Is it my question?
I'm about to do my rebuttal. You still haven't you answer my question.
I thought you already rebutted what I asked.
No, I ain't rebuttal because I ain't broke it down.
About then.
Before I rebuttal, can you name me any black fighters? And you just start dancing around the question. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to do my rebuttal because you dancing around the question. Just say no, I don't know any black fighters.
I told you what the atmosphere was back then.
Hold on. Now listen, we agreed beforehand that we was going to answer each other questions. Boxing Talk.
I
You got
answered the question.
no.
Now,
You got.
hold on. Now, I'm not saying I know black fighters he fought or didn't fight. I'm saying I answered the question as far as him saying why did Joe Louis fight any black fighters.
Okay, no, but you didn't answer his question though. No, listen, guys. Look, the question is, I'll ask the question. The question is, what he's saying is this: before Joe Louis became a champion, why didn't he fight black fighters at that point in time? Is what he's saying. And who are the black fighters that he could have fought? Do you know any? That's the question.
No, I don't know any black fighters he could have fought. But I also know that back then, black fighters, like I said, just because he could have fought a black fighter when he came up as a contender, that doesn't look. They wanted white fighters to be in that ring. They want white fighters to be in the ring more than a black fighter. Period. They didn't even want us. They didn't even want us. We were less than second class citizens. They didn't want us to compete in it. Period. They didn't care one way or the other if we competed in it. Because the reason why they didn't is because they were scared of what happened. That one of us was going to break through, and Joe Louis broke through. Go ahead, Boxing.
Okay. Now, first off, he says that he don't know any black fighters. So that he's uneducated where any of the black fighters was.
Black fighters he could have fought back then.
Exactly. So you don't know any black fighters at that time. I asked you to name one. You didn't name one. You couldn't name one. Okay? So I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna name the black fighters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say that Joe Louis ducked him because he didn't fight him. Do you know who Obie Walker is? Obviously not. He was 77 and 16. He was the color champion. You know what I'm saying? He was knocking everybody out, and he's never been KO'd. You know what I'm saying? They said he was so good. Obie Walker, look it up. They said he was so good he would have beat Smelling, Lewis, and Braddock in one night. You know what I'm saying? Guess who he fought? He fought another former color champion in George Godfrey. And look, he fought two-tone Tony Delato, a white fighter that Joe Louis fought. You know who else? He didn't fight? Larry Gaines. He was Canadian champion. He had a record of 115 and 22. He was a top heavyweight of his era, and he was a color champion. He beat people like Obie Walker. And guess who else he beat? Boxing Talk. He beat Primo Carrera, a guy Louis fought. And guess who else? He knocked out Max Schmeling in 2 rounds. So don't tell me if Max Schmeling can fight Larry Gaines, then you can't fucking explain to me how Joe Louis couldn't fight Larry Gaines or why he didn't fight Larry Gaines. What about George Godfrey? He's another color champion. He fought Sharkey, a guy that fought Louis. Why Louis didn't fight him? He beat Larry Gaines, Jim Maloney. He was DQ'd by Primo Carrera, who he was beating the hell out. And that's another guy that Joe Louis fought. So how is it these white fighters are fighting these black fighters when Joe Louis ain't fighting these black fighters? And at that time, by your standards, all black fighters is fighting black fighters. He didn't fight a prime Jimmy Bibbins. What about Turkey Thompson? He beat Goudet, the dude that you had named out of your own mouth that Joe Louis beat. He beat Bibbins, another guy that Joe Louis fought. Why he didn't fight Turkey Thompson? You know what I'm saying? What about Roscoe Toes? This is my last one, and I'm gonna give you, bro, because you don't know shit about boxing. You ain't doing the education, man. He didn't fight Jack Tramiel, who had a record of 50 and 7. He didn't fight Johnny Winters, who had a record of 59 and 8. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Roscoe Toes was a hell of a motherfucking fighter. He beat Goldboy, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch. And that's a guy that Joe Louis fought, and he didn't fight Roscoe. You know what I'm saying? He beat Jimmy Adams, who had a record of 50 and 2. Bud Walker, who had a record of 30 and 1. You know what I'm saying? And he beat Al Simeon, who fought Joe Louis. So my question is, if all these motherfucking black fighters who you know nothing about, color champions, good fighters, slick fighters, they managed to get in the ring with these white fighters, but you said that the black fighters couldn't get in the ring with these white fighters. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Louis was the first. He wasn't the first. You ain't been doing your education. You ain't been doing your homework. You body bag, you toe tag, put him in the car for 78. I'm done. Like I said, Joe Louis, as a contender, you don't know what was the atmosphere of him not being able to fight those fighters. For you to say that he ducked those fighters, you gave a whole nice little speech on why you thought that's facts.
That's facts.
Fighters.
If coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's what you are saying. You are saying, why didn't he fight that fighter? Why did he? Do you know what Joe Louis management was doing with him and saying, oh, he can't fight another black fighter? No, man. This is what was handled. Joe Louis himself was a fighter. That's what he was. He was a fighter. He was a black man, a fighter. He did what management had him doing, period, point blank. Now to say, you don't know if he ducked fighters. I don't know if he ducked those black fighters. All we know is those black fighters fought other white fighters. Okay, yeah, you said that they fought other white fighters. Yes, they fought other white fighters. That's true. Joe Louis fought the fighters that he fought as a contender that was put in front of him, and he dominated and knocked out most of them. Now that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, he can't fight everybody in the world. No one can fight everybody. What you saying is he got to fight this person, this person. No, man. He fought the people that were put in front of him. He knocked out most of the guys. He fought as a contender.
He fought handpicked fighters, what you saying?
As undisputed heavyweight champion, he knocked out and beat all the fighters they put in front of him. He did it better than all the fighters in heavyweight history. He did it better as an undisputed champion. He did it better than all those guys. You still have not told me how Muhammad Ali did it better than Joe Louis. Period. You don't have an answer. All you're doing is going through these little minute things, trying to pick out these little hairs, but you are not combing the hair. You are not telling me how that man did not climb Mount Everest that Joe Louis built as being an undisputed heavyweight champion with 25 title defenses and champion for almost 12 years with 22 KOs. You still have not told me how Muhammad Ali can go over the top of that mountain. He did not. You know that fact that he didn't make it. He was a great champion, but he just didn't make it like all the great champions, that everybody like George Foreman, he didn't make it. Ali, he didn't make it. Frazier didn't make it. The most menacing guy in a 3-year span was Mike Tyson. He didn't make it. None of those guys made it. You still have not told me that. You went on this long rant, but you still haven't told me that.
First of all, I didn't go on no long
Wait. I just want to let you know. I'm going to give y'all one more minute for this open discussion, then we got to go to closing argument, okay? Go ahead.
All right.
You mean closing statement?
Yeah, closing statement. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I didn't go on no rant. I gave you full factual information with passion. You're telling me opinion. The most thing that you got riding on is 25 title defenses. Hold on, man. I ain't cut you off, bro. You just did all that talking, bro. I ain't cut you off. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You went on all you keep saying is 25 title defenses. You saying everybody's following Joe Louis, but now you turn around and saying that Joe Louis is following his management team. You saying it's because of his management team that he didn't fight none of these black fighters. You don't know if he ducked them, but it's crazy that these black fighters fought each other and they fought fighters that Joe Louis fought, but he fought none of these black fighters. You can't explain to me why he had nothing to lose if he fought a black fighter before he became champion. If the case is really because they didn't want a black heavyweight champion. He had nothing to lose. They ain't got shit to do with who Joe Louis fighting before he becomes a champion, bro. And you talking about I ain't explained what was better? I showed you 3 gauntlets that Ali went through during his career. You ain't showed me one. All you do is go about the goddamn 25 fight.
All right. That's a wrap. It's a wrap. Let's go to the closing statement. Boxing Talk. Let's get your closing statement. Let's try to keep it within less than 2 minutes.
Okay, the guy went on a long rant, man. He still didn't explain why Muhammad Ali didn't surpass this man. 25 title defenses, with 22 KOs. He was 12 years as the baddest man on the planet. Let's just look at it. The man was the baddest man on the planet for 12 years. He gave guys shots at the title, man. They just did not get the job done. He dominated the guy. Heavyweights are supposed to dominate their opponents. No one dominated their opponents in the undisputed heavyweight streak like Joe Louis before or after. Ali put this guy, Leon Spinks, in the game. This guy had 6 victories. Why in the world do you let a guy, and you're supposed to be this great fighter, with 6 victories beat you and put him on the map? That's, to me, the biggest blemish, period, on either of their records. If you're going to say you're going to have a blemish, that's like insurmountable. That's like treason, man. You can't do that. You can't let that happen. You can't let a man make a name off of you as a heavyweight. You're supposed to dominate these guys. Joe Louis dominated the opponents that were put in front of him.
Okay, that's Boxing Talk, representing Joe Louis to the fullest. Let's go to Boxologist representing Ali. Go ahead and give you a closing statement.
All right, man. The hardcore boxing historians know it's speculated that Ali lost the first Spinks fight so he can regain the title for a third time, number one. I combed through this man's resume from start to finish, showed you who he beat, how good they were when he beat them, and who they beat. This man, all he can say is, oh, well, this guy killed the guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he lost to Joe Louis. That's all you said. You're not giving me, I don't know nothing about these guys you talking about. You know what I'm saying? When you compare the resume of the 25 defenses that Joe Louis had and gaining the title from who he gained it from, and you compare the 19 defenses that Ali had and gaining the title from who he gained it from, I'm going to tell you right now, the names on that defense resume that Joe Louis got is not fucking with the resume of Muhammad Ali and the 2 reigns of his defenses in no kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, bro. All his Hall of Famers was better than Joe Louis' Hall of Famers. His resume was more stacked. He fought everybody in America, outside America. Joe Louis was only the baddest man on the planet in your eyes because Ali wasn't fighting in that era. And Ali said out of himself, you know what I'm saying? If you go on YouTube, because I saw you pulled up that little thing. If you go on YouTube, Ali would tell, Mike Tyson's old trainer, Customato, that he would have beat Joe Louis because he's flat-footed. He ain't got the finesse of Ali. Ali was fun to watch. Joe Louis was boring to watch. He was stationary. He was playing his step when he was basic. Ali was mesmerizing when guys get the talent, man. The skills was better. The resume was better. What he did in life is better, man. And he didn't have no damn management team he had to follow because he made his own path. You know what I'm saying? Body bag, man. Toe tag, man. Get him out of here, bro.
Okay. We got, this was a fire debate. Very, very good debate. A lot of information that the viewer can listen to closely, do some fact checking. But you in the comment section, people watching this video, let us know who you thought won the debate and why. All right? 78 Sports TV here in the Lions Den with Boxologist, Boxing Talk. We'll holler.